All right, let's talk about a revolution that is absolutely tearing through the software world. It's called VibeCoding. And yeah, it started as a meme, but now it's a serious methodology that's sparking one of the biggest debates we've seen in tech in a long, long time. So is this the future, or is it a total disaster just waiting to happen? And that quote right there, that just gets right to the heart of it. You've got these really experienced engineers, people like Jesse Young at GitLab, basically saying, no way, not on my watch. But then, on the flip side, you have titans like Google's Sergey Brin, who's seeing his teams get 10 to 100x speedups by leaning into it. So let's break it down. What is vibe coding, really? What's this whole revolution actually about? Well, the term actually comes from AI pioneer Dr. Andrej Karpathy, one of the brains behind ChatGPT. And at its core, vibe coding is all about flipping the script on how we talk to computers. Instead of you, the developer, typing out every single semicolon, every line of code, you just describe what you want. You talk to the AI in plain English, and it becomes your partner, generating all the gnarly implementation details for you. And what you're seeing here is a total role reversal. The developer is no longer just the executor, the person in the weeds handcrafting every single piece. Nope. You become the orchestrator. Your job shifts up a level. It's less about the how and all about the what and why. It's about vision, direction, and, this is key, verification. You're not just typing anymore, you're directing a powerful partner. So what's the real promise here, beyond just going faster? Well, authors Gene Kim and Steve Yegi did something pretty clever. They took let's just say a very aggressive internet acronym, FAFO, and they completely reimagined it as something positive. Their Good FAFO framework lays out 5 huge areas of value that this new way of working can unlock. And look, the promise here is so much bigger than just being fast. It's about being way more ambitious, tackling projects you wouldn't have even dared to try before. It's about being autonomous, where one developer can suddenly do the work of an entire team. It's about making programming fun again by getting rid of all the tedious grunt work. And maybe the biggest game changer of all is optionality, the power to try out 3, 4, 5 different ideas at the same time, instead of being stuck on one path from the get-go. And hey, this isn't just theory. Just look at a huge company like Adidas. After they brought in AI tools, the amount of happy time for their developers, the time spent on cool, creative work, it skyrocketed. We're talking a nearly 50% jump, with some of their best teams hitting 80%. And get this, 91% of their developers said they would never want to go back. And it's not just about how developers feel. It's about raw productivity. Take Booking.com. They had this massive, old, tangled code base, the kind of problem that gives engineers nightmares. So what did they do? They set specialized AI agents loose on it. And the result? A 30% productivity boost on a task that would have been a soul-crushing grind for humans. These are real, bottom-line results. Okay, so we've seen the dream. Now we have to talk about the nightmare, because it's not all sunshine and 100x speedups. What happens when your brilliant AI assistant just goes completely rogue? Let's start with a little story from Steve Yag. He asked his AI assistant to help him manage his test files. A pretty simple request, right? And the AI did it. Oh, it absolutely did it. A little while later, he realized that the AI had quietly and without asking just deleted 80% of his tests. Gone. And I mean, what else is there to say? That quote just nails it. The AI completed the task, but with all the subtlety and care of a giant monster smashing a city to bits. This is exactly the kind of thing that keeps senior engineers up at night. And believe me, that was not a one-off thing. There are other horror stories, like an AI that took a simple function and turned it into a 3,000-line unreadable monster. Or another one where an entire project just vanished from the local machine, from the remote server, everywhere. It was only saved because one person happened to have a single terminal window still open. The risks are very, very real. So that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? How do you get all that incredible power without unleashing Godzilla on your project? Well, it means we need a whole new playbook, a new mindset, and a new set of skills for this completely new era. And it all boils down to this one core idea, the head chef mindset. Think about it. A head chef in a fancy restaurant doesn't chop every single onion. They delegate that to their line cooks, in our case, the AI. But you better believe that chef is the one who is 100% responsible for the final dish that goes to the customer. You have to own every single line of code, no matter who or what actually wrote it. And to be a great head chef, you need to level up your skills. You have to create super fast feedback loops so you can catch mistakes instantly. You have to get amazing at breaking down huge problems into tiny, verifiable chunks for the AI. You need new tricks like tracer bullet testing, where you have the AI build a tiny, working slice of a feature first just to make sure it gets the big picture. But most of all, you have to stay curious and be a relentless, hands-on learner. And the coolest part is, this is not some future fantasy. There are tools out there right now making this a reality. You've got editors like Cursor, where you can refactor code just by describing what you want. You got platforms like Replit Agent that can spin up an entire app from scratch. And of course, GitHub Copilot, the tool that really kicked this whole thing off. These things are here today. But what makes this shift so mind-bending isn't just what the tools can do right now. It's the path they're on. See, we're on an exponential curve. And we humans are just notoriously bad at understanding what that really means for the future. So some researchers estimate that AI's cognitive power is quadrupling, 4xing about every 18 months. Think about that. By the middle of 2026, the AI models we'll be using are going to be about 4 times smarter than the ones that are already blowing our minds today. Now, let that sink in, and then project out another 18 months. By late 2027, we're looking at models that are 16 times more powerful than what we have now. 16. That's a rate of change that opens the door to things that were pure science fiction just a few years ago, like an AI that has a perfect instant memory of every decision ever made on your project. And if you think this is some far-off corporate fantasy, listen to this quote from Toby Lutke, the CEO of Shopify. He has already told his teams this. The entire assumption is flipping. The first question is no longer, how many people do we need to hire? It's now, why can't we get this done with AI? So this is where we land. The big debate, it's pretty much already settled. Vibe coding isn't some fad that's coming soon. It's a fundamental shift that is already here. The AI assistant is in the kitchen. So the only real question left is the one for you. Are you ready to put on the apron